Success in racing can take years to cultivate, but for big spending Phoenix Thoroughbreds, it's been almost overnight. Since buying their first horses only last March, they've already seen considerable return on their multi-million-dollar investment, including with Grade 1 winner Dream Tree. Well, it's absolutely wonderful to meet the man behind Phoenix Thoroughbreds, and great to meet you, Amer. Many thanks for this.
Nice meeting you.
Tell us all about it. How did it all come about?
Well, we started about 5 years ago. We had a plan to set up a racing fund, basically, or breeding fund, if you want to call it, and we started putting everything together, from the business plan, putting the investors together, and everyone, bringing everybody on board. So it took about 5 years, took a lot of time, a lot of work has been done in the 5 years. We finally came to a point where we were ready when we started buying in March. It was an interesting journey to go into the market and have a regulated fund. And you're the only person that can, as a company, we're the only people who managed to do a regulated thoroughbred fund in the world. We are, very proud of it.
And tell us about your investors. I know a lot of them will, of course, want to be secret, but they're from all over the world?
At the moment, most of our investors are from Europe, Australia, and America. We don't have any investor from the region. That's the aim, and this is why we're racing here, is to attract more people into our investment fund.
And you've got Gotti here, who's done really well for you. He's your first horse in the UAE, but do you think you'll have more here?
And the plan is to increase the number of horses coming to Dubai. As you know, the season is very short, but the prize money is good. When you have a trainer like Ali, he's very persistent and he wants to have more horses, and we kind of promise him to bring the best, so then he can train them here.
Okay, because your background, obviously, you're from this area, and you're telling me your love of horse actually comes from purebred Arabians.
Absolutely right. I grew up in a farm, where we back home, breeding Arabian horses in Bahrain, and been away from it for some time, but then came back, and I'm in love with the thoroughbred industry, though.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And you must be absolutely delighted with the return you've had so far. So many good horses. You put a lot of money in, but you're doing well. It's
been a wonderful year. It's nice to have a Group 1 winner within a period of 9 months. We're very happy. We're excited about it. We have a lot of horses for next year. We think this year is going to be a better year for us as well.
Let's talk a bit about Dream Tree, because she's been a real star. I know you flew over to America for her last race.
Dream Tree, so far she's 4 out of 4. I spoke to Bob Buffett the other day. He's very happy with her. The plan is to take her to the Oaks. So far she's nominated for the Oaks. She's our star.
She really is a star, isn't she? And will you be going over for her next race, the Santa Anita race?
Santa Anita, I don't think so, but I've got other commitments as well. But if the opportunity comes, I might do it. Yeah.
And why did you decide to base with Bob Baffert? Obviously, his record just speaks for itself.
Well, he's a Hall of Fame, the best trainer, in the world, so it's good to have horses with him, and he's done extremely well with our horses, to be honest with you. But we are also talking to other 4 trainers. This year you're going to see different horses with different trainers as well.
Okay, and of course also Mourinho over there has also done really well for you, and he actually runs this weekend.
He's running on the 19. I think we have high expectation of the horse. Talking to Bob Buffett, he says it's going to be an easy win, and let's hope, keep our fingers for that. And the aim is to take him to the Kentucky Derby all the way.
So that could be a really big weekend for you then, first weekend in May.
It'll be an excellent weekend, First year of operation, going to the Kentucky Derby, that's a dream coming through.
And we should also talk a bit about the breeding side, because you've expanded into that and you've bought a half share in a stallion and a clown.
Well, the idea, since we are operating as an investment fund, the idea is to diversify our product. So we've got the stallion. We're spending about $120 million on stallions, and that's the budget for stallions. We've got the brood mares. We're aiming to acquire about brood mares to support our stallion, and also to breed and flip horses, weanlings, yearlings, and 2 years old.
And where will they mostly be based?
The kind of stallions that we're targeting is the stallion that is going to be suited for both hemispheres. So most of the stallion will be based between US, Europe, and Australia.
Okay. And Australia, that's a sort of new diversion for you? You're going to have quite a few 2-year-olds there?
In Australia so far we have about 65 horses. Yeah. Spend a lot of money there as well. We just acquired our stallion, I can confirm to you today, a horse that we share 50% of him with Equus Farm. yeah, called Invader. Yeah. We have about 10 2 years old going to the races this month. We're hoping to do the same thing we've done in the Northern Hemisphere and have start having winners there as well.
Wow. How did you convince your investors? Obviously, there's safer things to put money in than thoroughbreds. How did you persuade them?
That's the hardest job, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, when we go into the market, luckily, you know, I mean, not everyone knows about the industry and how lucrative the industry is, but we were able to show them numbers and figures and everything. We've got a wonderful presentation that we've done of our investors, got all the research that's been done to them to support our argument when we meet with the investors. And everybody that we met with so far, you know, they are very happy that someone came up with an idea like this, you know, something they've never heard of as an investment before. So the feedback that we get from the investor who came up with the idea, wonderful idea. So now we're trying to convince them to come on board. Now that we have the track record and we're winning and the name is there, our life has become a lot easier. The investment relation managers is busy all the time talking to investors. We get a lot of contacts, a lot of leads, and it makes our life a lot easier.
They must be enjoying the side of it as well, coming racing and seeing these horses develop.
We do, but the responsibility is getting bigger and bigger on us at the moment. Yeah.
And what do you hope to get out of it in the end? Because I suppose there's a danger you could grow too big. You'll obviously try and keep it quite select, will you?
Well, at the moment, as you can see from the quality of horses that we're buying, we are trying to focus on quality rather than quantity, and the reason for that is to avoid making losses. It's a 5 years fund, and the idea is to give certain return to our investor on a yearly basis. After 5 years, we liquidate, we start with fund number 2. If we are successful, some of the 2 years old or the 3 years old becomes our stallion, and they will be flipped to fund number 2.
But for you, having been involved with horses all your life, there must be certain races you really want to win?
The Kentucky Derby. I'm very keen on that one. So far we have 3 horses targeted toward the Kentucky Derby, and I've made it very clear to the team, this is the aim, this is where we're going. They think it's impossible. I said no, we have to go for that. Set your target high, and we're focusing on the Kentucky Derby.
One of them we should mention that could potentially end up there is Walk in the Sun, who's with Jeremy Nacida.
Walk in the Sun is a great horse. He won his maiden about 2 weeks ago. I remember that very clearly. The plan is to run him again, he'll have another race, and then we're either targeting the UAE Derby or straight to America.
It'd be brilliant to see you have your colours here on World Cup night.
That's the aim. We said we have to bring some horses here on the Dubai World Cup and run them on our turf and see how they perform.
Well, it's brilliant to have you on board, and so we wish you all the best with the Kentucky Derby, UAE Derby, bring what it may.
Well, keep our finger crossed, and thank you so much.